Making it Monday. It's the last one, at least for the time being. Never say never. But we were slowly running out of steam, and it was taking us longer to think up things, design things, because obviously we draw everything out and make sure that it's got our MIM touch to it, and it was taking more time doing that than anything else. So we decided for the moment just to park it up, see how we get on. That doesn't mean to say, oh, better switch you off. That's not meant to, you know, not going to say that I'm abandoning anybody here that's been following me for so many years, especially with the MIMs. How will it be? How long will it be? Is it 3 years at the end of this year? Oh, I can't keep up. I can't keep up. So yeah, so I won't abandon you. In fact, I did a poll on my page here a few weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks ago, to give you 4 choices of patterns, all beginning with B. I don't know if you noticed that. And the one that had the most votes, which wasn't many, when you consider how many of you are here going to be here tonight, I think I only got about 40 votes, but I go with the majority. And that was with Beatrice, the I just realised I haven't got my light on. I'll leave it off now. Beatrice, which was the gorgeous pouch with the little beach huts on, and that was the one that people most loved. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will book a date with you. I will work out my diary and come back with you to you with a date, because I've got lots of other things in the diary as well for July. I've just launched my fabulous quilt called Blue Beauty, and that's available in my shop. So you buy a pass, if you like, to the Facebook group, where we will be doing, I will be doing all of the lives to make Blue Beauty, and it's 4 consecutive nights. And the great thing about Facebook, as we know, well, apart from sometimes it's a little bit of a pain, but in this particular instance it's really useful, because the lives can be looked at any time. For as long as I keep that group open and you're a member of it, then the lives are there all the time, so you don't have to watch on those 4 consecutive nights, and I'm sure a lot of you won't, but it's there. So if you're interested in 4 nights making Blue Beauty, and do you know what, I don't think I've got a picture of it handy, but you'll have seen it on my page. I don't think I printed it off. I've got lots of bits of paper on my desk about it, but no, I haven't. So this week I shall be giving out what meterage you need. Not huge amounts, because it's only a 40 by 40, so it's probably about this square, but I will give you measurements for larger size. So these are 9-inch blocks, and I will be giving you measurements for 12-inch blocks. I won't bother with any other sizes, just the 12-inch block. And you'll get templates as well, so it's easy cutting too. So if you're interested, Blue Beauty is on the website. Oh dear me. Yes, anyway, so let's say hello to some people. We've got lots of people already. Oh gosh, I can't say hello to everybody. We've got YouTube joining us as well, so hello to people on YouTube. Let me pick up a name on YouTube. Oh, Jackie Grant. Sandra's on YouTube. Let's see if there's anybody else on my list so far not on YouTube. That's okay. We don't mind. We're not proud. We'll take anybody. So we've got Jackie and Kath and Marge. I haven't spoken to you for ages, Marge. Have you been away? Susan and Jen. And we've got Chris as well, and Anne and Grace. Nice to see you, Grace. Lisa. We've got Marianne as well, so I'm just picking a few names out at random here, because we've got 157 people. I'm not going to say all those names. I would love to, and it's big hellos to all of those people I haven't mentioned. Might take me the whole hour. You wouldn't want me to do that. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Gemma Joy, for putting the link on for my quilt. That's lovely. It's really nice. I'm really, really pleased with it. And I'm still trying to see if I've got a picture of it somewhere, but I'm sure you've seen it. I don't need to keep throwing it in your face. But this week, at some point this week, I'm going to get the fabric and make it up and get a sample so you can see it. Because I'm looking forward to that, actually. I do everything for me, really. That's the secret. So, although it's work, very serious work, actually it's completely selfish. Hello Sheila, hi Lizzie, looking forward to the last Making It Monday. Thank you so much for all the fabulous patterns. Sheila, you are very welcome. And of course, don't forget, we don't have the Making It Monday group anymore. That name has changed. It's still the same group. It's called Make It With Lizzie. So anything that you make, Lizzie related, if you like. So any of my older patterns, if you like, any of the Making It Monday projects. For instance, when our lovely ladies make the blue I can't get my teeth around it. The Blue Beauty quilt. You can post in there as well, so everybody can see it. Because I think we've got about 4,500 subscribers, members in there. Yeah, so anyway, I shall book a date with you all to make Beatrice. What I'm trying to do is dedicate Mondays, probably every other Monday, to my platinum members. And so, because we do special projects, you see, so I need to give them time to do the projects. So probably every other Monday will be dedicated to my platinum members, who are super duper and very, very much looking forward to making something associated with an electric pylon. I know, who knew? Yeah, so there's lots of things going on. And also July. Now, I'm not going to spoil Jackie's thunder, because Jackie has done the most amazing poster to post out on Saturday. But let's just say there's a big advantage to joining my group for at least July. Okay, there's a big advantage. That's all I'm saying. From the 1st of July, you will get the 14-day free membership again, only for the 14 days. But I have to say, it's probably worth your while joining. That's all I dare say, because if I say any more, I should get my knuckles rapped by Jackie. Severely rapped. I've just realised I am sitting on tonight's project. This is really nice and comfy on my chair. Oh no, I'm not. I must have taken it off. What have I done with it? Oh my gosh. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. I've been sitting on it all day. I've been a busy bee today. Let me get it. Oh dear. No, seriously, I have been sitting on it because it's so comfy and it just takes the edge off. If you're sitting on a chair that's, let's say it's not leather or fabric, it just takes the edge off. Oh dear, I'm not too dark, am I? Because I can switch that light on. Oh dear, I know, Kath, I know. Don't get yourself in trouble. I will get into serious trouble with our Jackie. Oh, hi Karen. Hi Karen. Karen's on YouTube. I hope you're okay. Let's have a look. Who else have we got? We've got, oh, Judy says her pie cut templates arrived today. Gosh, that's good. Because they went to the sorting office on Saturday and they all go second class because it saves you money, I have to say. So, gosh, that's jolly good, isn't it? Abigail says she's lost the plot early tonight. There's only one way this will go. Abigail, don't even tempt fate. Because actually we've got a lot of work to do, so I better crack on. So, Gloria, that's what it looks like on the website. Still £1.25. Really, it's worth a lot more because of the techniques involved and what we end up with. I must admit, the photo I took, which is up here, did not do it justice. So I did a little video this morning on my page. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's explained much better than pictures could ever tell. Anyway, that's what we're making. Now, at first glance, you think, oh, it's just a 9 patch. Well, yes, it could well be that. Except this 9 patch has a pocket on the back. Here we go, there we go. Has a pocket on the back, which means the whole thing can be rolled up into the pocket, a bit like a quillo. And I've made 4 quillos, 4 grandchildren, 4 quillos. So it's a bit like that. because I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story as I'm going along, otherwise we'll be here all night. So yeah, you can see it's got quilting, we've got special binding. If you've got the pie cut templates coming, because obviously they're still, I've had to do it in batches because the actual wrapping of them and making secure has taken me an age, and it's only me, so it does take me an age, but they're pretty much all gone out now, so phew, thank goodness. But the free pattern that you get with the templates, which is actually this cushion here, it's gorgeous, I love it. Sorry about the airplane. We use this style of binding, which is really good and easy. It's not like the normal binding. So anyway, so that's what we're making, and you can see it's pussycats. Now this range is from Higgs and Higgs, and Kath and I bought this thinking it would be Christmassy colours, because when you look at it on the website it looks Christmassy colours. It's so not. So I've had to use it, and you can see it's got pussycats on. The one I'm making tonight for John, I'll show you how I wrap it up later. If you see my video you'll know how. The one I'm making for John is green and yellow because he supports Norwich City Football Club. So we're going green and yellow, and I'm going a bit more masculine. So it's the same range, it's exactly the same, except I didn't think he'd appreciate pussycats. I really thought he's going to say, no way, Jose. So I've gone with the sort of, looks like Morse code a bit, doesn't it? So I'm using this. So to you it might be really dull, to John it would be very exciting. Well, I hope. So I've put my 9 blocks together because that's pretty easy, isn't it? Now the next thing we're going to do is actually, excuse me, I'll just get you on the overhead there. There we go. Oh, I'm a bit close. Hold on guys, let's zoom out just a wee bit. Sorry about tomorrow's washing. Hold on. Oh, there you go. That's a bit better. It's not perfect, but it'll do. So the next stage is to actually put our tape on that we're going to use. Now you don't have to do this tape, okay? You just don't need to do it. But the other thing I wanted to point out was I've opened all the seams up. Now I didn't say that in the pattern because I forgot. But I opened the seams up because when we put the tape on, if you've got a double folded over seam there, it's likely that your tape will err to that side, will sort of kind of go that way with your machining. So by opening it up, you're distributing the fabric, and so your tape will lay better, okay? And this tape you can use for like stained glass effect. I don't know if you've ever seen, I think Abigail did a stained glass effect. So we're going to cut it roughly to the width we want. I can't remember, is it 18.5 inches across, something like that. And then it's got double-sided tape on the back, and we literally just place it on the top. Then we're going to iron it down. So I've gone slightly over, I'm going to zoom out just a wee bit more, guys, I'm sorry about this. I'm going to centralise you a wee bit, and I'm going to come out a wee bit so you can see better. Now that's what this is the tape. Now I couldn't find this on Amazon for a reasonable price, so I didn't want to put it in my shop. I don't know where I got mine from. It's been ages, but needless to say, Cloverdale one, and it's it's called Quick Bias Fusible Bias Tape. So that's what you're after. So let's just take those off. So with the tape, you're going to take the backing off, and I need to get my iron fired up. Hold on guys, this could take a while. There we go. Do one at a time, don't rush. I'll just get my trusty mat in. Now if you were part of Abigail's sale earlier, she was actually selling some of her wool mats. You know, these. Now I didn't know, not that I need any because I've got about 10, but I didn't know that she had them in stock. I don't know if she's still got them in stock, but anyway, this is slightly sticky. Oh, Hobbycraft visible bias tape. Do you mean fusible, that's it. Yeah, so with these seams open, it really helps to get that binding, this sticky binding, right down the middle. Now look, if you don't get it in the middle, for goodness sake, don't worry about it. And then just iron it down, get that bonded. I do suggest that you stitch this because, you know, this is going to be sat on and it's going to need washing, won't it? It really, you know, let's be serious here. It's going to need washing. Whoever sits on it, whatever, mucky grandchild or a mucky adult, which would probably be me. Now then, the story is that we were last week at Barnard Castle, and I love it there. I really love it. And to get to Barnard Castle from where we are, there's two ways. You can go the scenic route, which is a bit longer, right down onto the river, if you like, and then through, I'm not going to say forest, because it's not, but through vegetation, nice path, and into the town. And there's a huge, obviously it's castle, so you have to go up a real big hill. Well, for me, who lives in the Fens, us Fen girls, we don't do hills in any shape or form. We don't even know how to spell hill, never mind climb hill. And consequently, when I walked back, I wasn't feeling very well. I think I'd got a bit of heat stroke. And oh gosh, you know, my legs were going. And I'd had a drink, and blah, 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 all of that. A bit of health and safety. I'd done all that. And I really didn't feel well. And I said to John, look, I need to sit down. I need to sit down. And we were just coming to the bit where on our way into the town, it's an uppie. On the way out of town, which we were doing, is a downy. So you'd think, oh, you know, easy. But I couldn't have done it. I could not have done it. So we found this bench, and oh, here comes Millie. We found this bench, and it was a little bit dubious. Dubious is probably an understatement. And I had my brand new white shorts on. And I thought, blimey, I don't really have any choice here. I'm going to have to sit down. I couldn't have got back to where we were staying. I could not have got back. So it had to be done. So, I was thinking of my shorts, ridiculous. And it's a bit like, you know, the motorcyclists when they have an accident and they say, don't cut my leathers, and you think, no, sod it. They go, oh, sorry, language. They've got to be cut. This happened to me recently when I saved that boy's life. Anyway, so I forgot about the fact that these were brand new white shorts. Had to sit down, and at that very moment in time, I thought, why the heck don't I take, even if it was a piece of cloth, you know, as it happens, I didn't have any marks left. All was good, but it made me think that I needed a little cushion like this. Well, it's not that little, but you know what I'm saying. A cushion like this that would protect my bottom. so of course then Gloria was made in all its glory. See, when Kath wrote the pattern, she said, let's call it Gloria, like you're going out in a blaze of glory. And I said, no, let's call it Gloria because it saved my it would save my bottom in a glorious way. Oh, how my mind worked, who knows? Who knows? So we're going to top stitch this. So you've seen what I did. You've seen what I did. So I've got a top stitch, and I've got a top stitch down both sides. So it's going to take a little while, and I'll put it on a long stitch so it helps. Now, if you're really brave, you could use contrasting thread. If you're really sensible, you use black thread. That's what we're going to do. So let's put you on the side camera. Yes, that's true, Abigail. So the young lad whose life I saved, I didn't. He broke his leg, and I looked after him in the middle of the road. It was quite an experience. My dad thought I was a right hero. Now, do you want to be zoomed in? Do you want to be zoomed in? Because I can zoom you in if you need to be, but it's just a straight stitch, nothing complicated, okay? So, can you use a twin needle? Violet, you are a genius. Yes, of course you can. And if I'd thought about it, I'd have got my twin needles out. Anyway, we'll just go for it. Yes, so the young lad, who, as you know, in my personal opinion, was perhaps a naughty boy, and that's being kind, he turned up at my dad's, I think it was probably a fortnight later, with a great big box of chocolates for me. Now, isn't that lovely? I mean, what a lovely lad. So I kind of take everything back I said about him. No, he was a lovely lad, and he was very, very frightened and all the rest. But my dad, oh bless him, obviously it took him about an hour to get to the door, and he said, oh well, he said, I've had a visit from your boyfriend. I'm thinking, what? He said, yes, the young man who you saved. I said, oh right, okay, Mitchell, that's his name, Mitchell. And he said, I didn't recognise him. I said, well, you wouldn't, Dad, you didn't even see him, really. No, he said, well, I knew who he was. He said, very handsome young man. He said, and he had a suit and tie on. And I said, oh, God love him. Because he was only, well, he's 28. I know everything about him. I know everything about him. So anyway, he said he had a suit on, and he looked lovely. And he said he dropped that box of chocolates off for you. He said, now I've hidden them, so, because I've got 5, this one, I'm one of 5. He said, I've hidden them in case your brothers and your sister comes round, and they're not for them. So I said, oh, thanks, Dad. He said, I've put them in the fridge. What? They'll find them in the fridge, Dad. They raid your fridge every time they go round. No, he said they won't find them. Well, when I went round after my holiday, there was the chocolate still intact. Still intact. I mean, I don't know if anybody asked about them while I was away. But, yeah, they were just in the fridge. Anybody could have seen them. Anybody. So, well, isn't that nice? So, not that I need to eat any chocolates or anything like that, but you can't say that to somebody that's gifted you something. You say thank you very much, which my dad did on my behalf. Yeah, so, twin needle, Violet. Honest to goodness, I think that was just genius of you. Mind you, it'd probably take me 10 minutes to change my needle, so. And I've got it on a long stitch. What have I got it on? Well, 3. I've got it on 3, because that's what I'll be quilting with. Yeah, so no bother. We can do that. So there we are. Now, what have I done? I've got one more to do. So let's do that. So it didn't take long, did it? So because it's all stuck down, as long as you can, you know, stitch a straight line, it doesn't take long. And I'm not forcing this through, I'm merely holding the fabric. I'm just got my hands really loosely on here, like this. Let's have a look. Oh, June. Oh, hi all, sorry I'm late. I've spent the last 30 minutes trying to get my machine to work. No luck, I was just watching tonight. Hope I'll be able to sort it tomorrow. Oh, well, that's a blooming nuisance. Oh, Abigail stained glass, yes. I can't remember. I mean, our Kath designed a peg bag holder, which is really lovely. I forget the name because I can't remember my own name most of the time now. But that's got a stained glass design on it as well. I think. It's not a Making It Monday holiday project. It was a mid-month madness project, I'm sure. Kath will put me right. Yeah, so there we are, we've done that. And there we are. So we just need to trim our ends off, which we will do. Ah, Peter, of course it was, Jackie. Well done for remembering that. Because obviously I've got a brain like a sieve. So I'm going to zoom in a bit now, because we don't need to see huge amounts, and I don't need, I'll just come in a wee bit. So sorry about this zooming in malarkey. That's a bit better. So we'll trim off our little bits of tape, just so it looks tidy. Let's do it flat on the desk, so much easier. Yes, and I'll just check the pattern to see what the next stage is. Nobody say, because if you've got the pattern, nobody else has, so you just keep it to yourself. I'll just, sorry, licking my finger. Yes, I've said in the pattern you can leave the tape out if you don't want to do it, because it obviously it's got to look fairly, you know, half decent. And if you don't trust yourself for stitching straight, etc., or even gluing straight, then don't miss that bit out. Miss that bit out. We're going to do quilting as well, so we're just about covering all bases. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see. Yes, you can see. That could do with an iron, but I'm going to move on because we won't have enough time and if I don't. So the next bit is, oh, if I can reach down, I've got a non-fusible piece of foam. So it's disposal basically, but it's non-fusible, yeah? So it's a normal stuff, but it needs a spray. Now the spray will really help with flattening this out, yeah? Flattening this out, that's what I'm trying to say. So you can sort of pull it into shape a bit, but don't distort it. It'll be easy to do that, really easy. Half at a time. There we go. Right, let's just see what's on the next page. Oh yes, I know what I've got to do next. Right. I only did this, when did I do this? Last Friday. But you forget, because I've done so many other things since, you forget what you've done. If it was a sort of pattern where I've had to make something, you know, 2 or 3 times to, you know, when you're making a proper, not a proper pattern, but a bigger pattern, then you tend to remember the stages. But when you're doing a quick pattern like a mim, you really only want to make it once. Yeah. So look, by putting that spray on there, it's really made my crinkles go, which is super. Now I've told you exactly the right measurement. We will be trimming this down, okay? That's what we're going to be doing. Now, next bit is to get a ruler. And you'll think this is a bit strange, but as we go along, it'll all become clear, okay? And we're going to mark a 1/4 inch seam all the way around, okay? So roughly, don't get too hung up about it, but hopefully I'm going to be able to see that. Oops. So you've got a rough idea. Yeah, that's okay. Might not be able to see it for you guys. But make sure that's sort of gone a little bit kinky there, so just keep that in order. Because when we go to quilt it, which is nearly next, we want to make sure that when we quilt it, we remember our seams along the sides. Otherwise, your quilting will end up not being a square, basically, if you don't do this. Or I mean, do it by eye, you know, whatever's easiest. So I'm just doing this as a rough carry on, but obviously you want to do this only when you're not going to do any more ironing, okay, for obvious reasons. You could use some air erasable, but then obviously you've got that possibility that it might disappear after you've done a bit of stitching. So, but this is just a rough guide, just to help you when we do the quilting. Okay, but you know, if you've got a different way of doing this, then fill your boots, as they say. But you know, I'm a bit off there, but I can see that as I'm going around, I'll be able to see whether it's wonky or whether it's straight. So that's just one more line and we're done. So I'm doing it fairly roughly. In fact, that I can't even see that myself. I'm doing it fairly roughly because this is not a kind of, you know, set in stone thing. So there we go. That's it, that's lovely. So hopefully you can see that. There's that line there, which means that that's our seam line when we put our binding on. So when we use whatever method, I shall just use the edge of my presser foot. And as we follow round with our presser foot, I will follow this line rather than that line. Yeah, so I'm coming in 1/4 inch. And so therefore I'll have a proper square rather than a weird rectangle or something. Anyway, so that's that bit. Let's flip this over. Yes, so the next thing is to put the backing on. I don't know why I didn't do that before, but there we are. I'm following the pattern. And I want to make sure that that sits correctly. And what I should have done, of course, was to cut my... although this should cover plus a bit. I want to make sure I cover my squares. So I'm just going to have a quick look. Because I wanted you to cut this bigger. It's a bit on the wonk, but I think we're okay. What I would suggest is maybe cut this down now, but we're going to quilt it, so it might wriggle. That's what I'm thinking. But if you cut it big enough, which I've done, I think I've said 20 inches square, you're easily going to cover your blocks, which this definitely does. But again, just make sure, like any project you do when it comes to quilting, make sure that all the wrinkles are out of your fabric, and you know, you've moved everything. You start in the middle and smooth it. Spend some time doing that. It's really worth it. Now then, I'm going to quilt with that mustardy colour thread. So I've got to change my thread, guys. So let's bring in the beast. The beast from the east. Oh, we don't want any of that, do we? Oh no. So we'll just change this bobbin out. If I can, if I'm capable. There's no telling. And that's it. Oh dear. There we go. I need to get to Specsavers actually. Literally, I've got to go to Specsavers because when we were on our holidays, something fell out of the cupboard and fell onto my glasses and bent them, these ones. And they've not really been the same since. And I can't see very well. I think I've moved my variofocals to a funny angle. So I need to go. Plus, I think I need a stronger stronger prescription, or even a prescription. Shush, Lizzie. Or even a subscription. Oh, it's been hot, hasn't it? I think, can we just say that it's all down to the heat? All this shenanigans. Right, change my thread. I've got the goldy colour thread. You should have went by my castle. Oh, yes. How funny. Actually, I don't know if it was at Barnard Castle that they dropped on there. How funny. I'd forgotten about that. Well, I hadn't, because 1 or 2 people kept reminding me. And yeah, that's where you go to get your eyes tested. Right. Okay, so we've got our piece, okay? And I'm going to use the side of my presser foot to quilt all the way round, all the squares. Now then, please can I suggest, let's go to the side, please can I suggest that you don't worry too much about taking your threads to the back of your work and sewing your threads in and all that sort of carry on, because what we're making is a seat cover for rotten old park benches when you're feeling a bit dodgy. Okay? So we mustn't worry about that. So I'm just using the side of my foot here. Okay, so if when I swivel it that I need to do another stitch, which will happen every single time, I can almost guarantee. So I will just do a couple of little back stitches over the ones that I started with, and that will secure it nicely. Plus, you know, you've got to be sensible with these things, and sometimes life's too short. And I'm going to sweep everything off my desk with this. And so when we come back, I'm literally going to try and keep that flat. I'm literally, which of course I've not succeeded, I'm just going to go back a couple of stitches, that's all. Okay, so we'll just move on to the next one, and keep an eye on the underside, make sure that's still sitting okay, and you could drop the needle in first just to make sure it's just where you want it to be, and then we start again, and then just trim your threads when we're done. So look for your 1/4 inch mark that you've made along your seam, and that's what we're going to follow. So of course, I mean, John might take this to Carrow Road, maybe. He might feel, a bit, soft, but might save his. Mind you, they spend most of the time stood up telling the ref what to do, don't they? So perhaps he won't need it. So we've got 9 of these to do, guys. I've got my stitch length on 3, and we're just taking our time, sweeping everything off my desk as we go. Which foam? Yes, I said, Emma. Were you not listening? Obviously not. It's all right, Emma's a friend, so it's fine, I can say that to Emma. It's Bosal, but it's non-adhesive. Okay, so there's absolutely no glue on this Bosal whatsoever, apart from the spray that I've used. And that, oh, silly me, go back. That's because I ordered a great big roll of it, thinking it was double-sided. So I didn't take my own advice there, and I followed my 1/4 inch mark. Yeah, so, but use whatever you like. There's so many varieties of these things now. It's great that we have all these choices. And I'm loving the gold thread on this, or the sort of mustard coloured thread. Looks really nice. So this might take us beyond the 8 o'clock. I'm not sure. See how you go. I'm just going to, in fact, I'm just going to do a back stitch on that. If you have a thread cutter like I do, you might find underneath is a right old bird's nest. So you might not want to use your thread cutter. They can be a jolly nuisance, they really can. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. They're good in as much that, gosh, they save you so much time and thread, but they can leave you with a right old mess underneath your work. So it's one of those personal preference type things. So just spend your time doing this. It's actually really nice to do. It's a lovely project when you finished it, and it's just so satisfying just doing these straight lines. It's really lovely. So what else have we got to say? Oh, Emma says she didn't hear me say that. That's all right, Emma. But I forgive you. I forgive you anything. Lovely ladies are Emma. So just working our way along. It's going to take a while, ladies and gents. So, you know, you're in for the long haul. And it's worth doing it, can I just say? The other thing you could do is when you put your black tape on, you could quilt it then. But I quite like this sort of shadow quilting with the squares. Yeah, I always have done. Just make sure your backing is okay. Keep an eye on things. Yes, I wonder if Abigail's got any more of those pressing mats, because I absolutely love mine. If you haven't got one, maybe it's time for a little treat. I mean, like I say, I don't know if she sold out. Really don't know. I was having my tea, trying to get myself organised for you guys, and I missed the end. She might have said she'd sold out, I don't know. If she's still around, she might tell us, mightn't she? So we haven't got many more to do now, so if you've fallen asleep, you've got another 5-minute nap. And so we're just literally stitching the squares. Yes, so don't forget to book your place on Blue Beauty. Like I say, I'm going to make a sample up this week. I won't go to Daisy May because she's ever so busy. Because my Bargello, my round Bargello hasn't come back yet. And that hasn't because she's so busy. If you are a member of my online group, we're going to be doing the Bargello in the group as a freebie, because my members are just so lovely. So if you're not a member, there's another reason to join, because I'll be doing the gorgeous Bargello quilt. And of course you'll need the templates. Not that I'm trying to push you into that, but you can't do it without the templates. You really can't. Well, you can if you're a mathematical genius. Yeah, definitely. So let's just get that a little bit straighter. So 2 more squares to do, ladies and gents. Not long now. Oh, Bernadette says, oh, I'm late, I had visitors. What? Did you not tell them it was a Monday? You need one of those little spy holes, Bernadette. And no, go away. I'm joking. Actually, I'm not joking. Everybody needs one of those spy holes. Yeah, oh, I've got a story about spy holes, but I'm not going to tell you it because it's horrible. Yeah, it's really gruesome, so I'm not telling you. So, yeah. Anyway. So what else has been happening in the world? In your world? My world is always chaotic. I'd like to think your world wasn't quite as bad. That you've got time for a little R&R. Oh yes, did I tell you the story about... I think I told my members the story about my dad. I phoned him out. I've got to phone him later actually about his Tesco order, but I phoned him up about his Tesco order, and he said, when you come across on Saturday, he said, I've got a book that you bought me that I want you to see. So I said, all right, Dad, yeah, that'll be smashing. I'll see you Saturday. So when I went, he showed me the book. One more square to do. Hold the front page. So he showed me the book and I said, Dad, I don't recognise this. I said, I don't think I bought it for you. He said, look in the inside cover. And sure enough, it said, to Dad, Happy Christmas, 25th of December, 1981. So I was still living in Germany then. Lots of love from Elizabeth, I was full title. My ex-husband, which we don't need to mention. And Adrienne. No sign of Abigail. No, she wasn't even a twinkle in my eye. She hadn't been thought of at that point. Yeah, so Adrienne said, she said, oh, Mummy, I was an only child. Yes, you were, I said, yes, you were. And then Abigail said yes, and then I came along and spoiled it all. Oh dear. Well, not spoiled it all, but you know what I mean. Took over. Centre of attention. saying nothing. Right, let's just push that back and let's have a little look at it. Just one moment. Hopefully I haven't stitched where I shouldn't have stitched, because obviously I've been chatting. So if we look around the edges, it's not too bad. Look, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay, we've gone inside the line, which is what we want. It's just a case of trimming the threads. So I'll just spend a moment seeing if I can trim just a few back so it doesn't look quite so ugly. On the back it will be horrendous because I know my machine, and that will take more than 5 minutes to trim all that away. Just that one there. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look at the back. So you won't be able to see, will you? But it's awful. And if I had the time, I wouldn't cut my threads. Not with this machine. Other machines that I've got are super, but this machine is a rebel. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to cut by hand with my scissors the around the outside. And now I'm going to go by what the top is. I'm not even interested in the back. I'm assuming it's all caught. If it's not, it's too late. And sometimes using scissors is incredibly satisfying. These are old Crafter's Companion ones, but I have to say they'll go through anything. See, although, do you see that bit there? I know that's straight. I know that's not necessarily straight, so I'm keeping that as it is. So you've got what's called poetic license. Okay, so let me just give that a cut. There we go. Because don't forget, we're going to bind all this. So whatever sins you've committed cutting are going to be covered. And the binding part is very, very easy. So I don't want you to think it'll be easy to bag out. Well, yeah, okay, I suppose it would be. But this binding is particularly easy. Okay. Now all of our sides are equal, yeah? We've got 9 squares. There's nothing to say top, bottom, side, or anything like that. So we're just going to flip it over, and we've got to attach the pocket. Now then, little extra. My pocket is longer than it need be, okay? And which I could snip down now, just to please you. I'll snip it. Now don't forget, these are boys' colours that I'm using here. Normally I'd have been a pretty flowery pink something or other, but I'm hoping that John might make use of it. Right, so what I want to do is I want to have a handle this time, because although the actual front rolls into this, I also thought, well actually when I was making it, it would be quite nice to have a handle. So what I've done is I've cut a 4-inch wide piece of fabric, folded it lengthwise in and then in again, so you end up with a 1-inch strap, and that is, well, call it 12 inches, okay? And if we snip that little bit off there, that is 12 inches. But obviously, well, it's 12 and a half actually. Well, 12 and a half inches. 12 inches when finished. I've just kind of cut it and guessed it. And that wants to go in before the pocket, okay? So let's just move that pocket out of the way. And what we want to do is kind of centre it. Now, fortunately, now I know this is going to be hard for you to see, but I've got quilting lines here. Obviously, I've got my squares, and when you do yours, you'll see yours. So just pop it where your squares are. So you know, there's 1 square, gap, 1 square, gap, 1 square. Okay, so pop your straps or handle, if you decide to make one. In fact, they probably go a bit nearer, sort of using that centre square of your quilting as your guide, okay, as your guide. And we'll just pop a clip in, like a so, and we're going to just baste that on there so it doesn't wriggle. So ignore the pocket for the moment. So, oh, I have to cut that. There's an awful lot of trimming to do. So I'm just going to baste along there. I'll stick with my gold thread because we've got binding to do next, and that really needs the gold thread. Well, you know, it's mustard colour. It's mustard colour. So let's get that in. I ought to move that because I keep thinking that's going to fall. So let's just move it. So don't forget, it's about 12 inches long, the handle, the strap, by 4 inches wide. And we fold it in half. Well, we fold the long sides up to the middle, and then we fold the other sides up to the middle, and then we fold it in half. I'm just going to stitch all the way across, and then you top stitch down both sides. You top stitch down both sides. Oh, I've just moved that, so let's shift that along a bit. There we go. Yes, and top stitch it so it looks nice and neat, and always top stitch both sides. So let's see if I can show you that on the side. See, that's a little bit of a better view, isn't it? It's not too bad. But that's roughly where your handle goes. You can see it kind of spread eagles that centre square. Okay, that centre square. Oh, Patricia, Pat, back from my coronation. Oh no, crown. Oh, crown at the dentist. We'll watch back to try and make. Hope you're all well. Ah, oh, lovely Pat. Oh my gosh, Anne has just purchased a ticket for La La Land. Looking at hotels now. Oh, there'll be loads of hotels. Yeah, loads of hotels, Anne. Yeah, oh, lovely. I shall so look forward to seeing you. So look forward to that. Right, so the pocket is literally the same fabric folded in half. You don't have to do that. You can cut 2 pieces if you want. They've got the measurements in the pattern, just obviously halve the width, etc. Just seam it, but you know, you might as well. And this can all be made with flat quarters. So we're going to baste that on. Now, I want you to use pins or clips, okay? I don't want you to do what I'm doing, because I'm just a bit gung-ho. So you're going to pin it or clip it, okay? So it's all sitting in the right place. And this is now coming to the point where a walking foot would be brilliant, okay? A walking foot would be brilliant. So we're basting it on about 1/8 of an inch, but you've got to remember you've got lots of layers going on now. I can't even think. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 layers going on, and it will shift unless you use your walking foot. So cut yourself a bit of slack if it shifts, okay? Because of all the layers, they slip on top of each other. But I'm certainly not wasting my time putting my walking foot on. But it'd be worth it if you do, okay? Just don't do as I say. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Something like that. Something like that. So to keep all those layers nicely on top of each other, then a walking foot will do that job for you beautifully. Beautifully. So let's get this basted on. So this pocket is going on the back. Okay, in case you've forgotten which is back, which is front. And I might just trim it again, but I think we're all right. I think we're okay. Oh, poor Pat, going to the dentist. Had a new coronation done. That's so funny. So funny. Only royalty gets that. Well, of course, that is Pat. Sandra said I'd put tabs on either side of the pocket and put on poppers so it would fold up small to fit in a bag. Well, you know what? Give it a go. See if it works. With the foam, it's quite tricky, I must admit, but you must give it a go and see if it works for you. So let's go to the overhead, and now I'm going to come out a little bit because this needs a little bit of explanation. Now this is the same as my pattern for the pie cut templates, okay? This bit about the binding. So we've got 4 pieces of binding, all separate. And I've folded them in half and I've pressed them. If I can get hold of it. Okay. Come along. Goodness gracious. That was difficult. Folded it in half, okay, and those raw edges there go against the raw edges of the top of my bag. It can be the sides if you want, but let's say the top. It's just easier if you always do it the same. And we'll just clip it on, because you want clips really now, because you've got the weight of all the layers, okay. And so you've got all your raw edges there, look. And then at the bottom, so let's move those out of the way, we're going to do the same. So we folded our binding in half, raw edge to raw edge, okay, and it will overhang. It will overhang. I hope I've cut enough binding, or cut the right width. If not, we'll be in trouble. See how we go. Looks a bit short to me, but there we are. When it overhangs, that's absolutely fine. You've cut all 4 pieces the same length, which makes it super easy. Now we're just going to stitch these on, and then we're going to press our binding back, okay? So just remember, that's key. That is absolutely key, is to press your binding back. I will just finger press it, but you really do need to spend time on that, guys. So all the way across, 1/4 inch. So whiz along, you'll go at your own pace. I've still got my stitch length on 3. You want to bring yours down a wee bit, 2.8, something like that, 2.6 possibly. But it's going through a lot of layers. Now I've put this on the back. I just realised that. Doesn't matter whether you put it on the back or the front, okay? So honestly, it doesn't matter. Either way is absolutely fine. Again, that's because I'm talking and not concentrating. John will love it. Well, you never know with chaps, do you? You just don't know. There's no telling. There's no telling. The binding is actually the pussycats. Let me show you. Let me show you. Look, if I open this up, it's the pussycats. Don't tell him. Don't tell him, because he wouldn't touch it. Because he's obviously a dog man with our Millie. Yeah. Well, she was bored on holiday. The trouble is, because of where we are and all the rest of it, she has to be on a lead, a long lead. She can hop in and out of the motorhome. She can come and sit with me on, you know, on my chair outside. She's got a lot of freedom, But oh my gosh, she was bored. She was so bored. She was quite depressed at the end of it all. Okay, so don't forget, as I said, oops, oh crikey, let's just put that back. What happened there? Yes, so don't forget, this is the important bit where we push these out. Also, please don't forget, I've put the binding first on the back. It matters not, okay, it matters not. But all of this needs to now be pressed out. Well, no, I'm not going to have time to do that. And because of that, I'm going to just pin it back so you can see it. Like I say, this is the important bit for this type of binding. So let's just pin it, and that'll hold it. And then you'll get the gist of it. And to be honest, stitching it from the front, stitching it on the back and then top stitching it on the front is so much easier. What am I doing? So on the other end, let's just pin it back, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So you've got a visual, you've got pictures in the pattern, so you know, that's why we do the pictures, so you've got a visual that you can go and have a look at if you're not too sure. So there we are, I've pushed that back, so my binding is going out, okay? And if I flip it over, I want you to see that my seams are also, they're staying out, and to be perfectly honest, it'd be jolly hard to get those seams to go like that, so they naturally want to stay like that. Okay, So the next thing, I'll get it so you can see. You've pressed it. Please, 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 please press this. It makes a huge difference. You're going to get your second set and you're going to lay these over the top, okay, and they fit perfectly. I thought they might, but you never know. And you're going to put your, can you see the whiskers? I ought to put those on the back really, but hey, don't tell John. He'll wonder what it is. He'll think I've penned it with a Sharpie. I'll say, yeah, that's right, I caught it, yeah, caught it. So you're going to do exactly the same again, and this time you're going to start right up here. You can trim these off if you want to, but we'll do that. Start from here and you're going all the way across right over your first bit of binding, okay, to here. Okay, so you're not stopping anywhere, you're very easy, very, very easy peasy. And then on this side, I'm just going to move that pin because that's a ridiculous place to have it. Let's pop it in there. So same again, you're resting it over the, so you're making a kind of cross and clips and we're just popping that binding on. So we're just past the 8 o'clock, so this will not take long now, okay, and I'll do as much as I can. Now, yeah, okay, we're going to trim the binding so it does end up like that. But you really want to be careful of this edge here when you're trimming, because you absolutely don't want to cut into that fold, because you will have to replace that bit of binding. So let's just trim these off. We'll try to be, you know, neat. Get those trimmed. Okay, so we'll just stitch along those pieces of binding now. Once again, I thought I was going to lose my pincushion. So let's get it under the needle. And this is ever such an easy way of binding, really. And never mind your 45-degree angles. I'm just going to put a little back stitch in there. Oops, had a bit of a false start there. Try and stick to your 1/4 inch. You certainly want to cover any of your stitching you did beforehand, you know, your basting and all of that, especially where the pocket is. It's getting a bit cumbersome now, so it's got a mind of its own now, this foam. So I'm just going to lift it up. It's catching on everything on my desk. So don't forget we're going over that first lot of binding. I'm just going to do a back stitch to secure it. Okay. What does Pat say? I think some ocean fabric I bought early in the year would make a perfect packaway travel cushion. It absolutely would, Pat. Because, I mean, it doesn't pack down small, but if you used wadding, it would. With the foam, and I deliberately used foam, knowing my own posterior would like foam, but wadding would be easier to pack away, and where gosh, I forget who said about the poppers, you would probably find it manageable with poppers maybe. You've got to see for yourself. I haven't thought how I would put poppers on this, to be honest, but let's just move that because it's catching. So off the end here, let's take it all the way up. I'm going to put a couple of little back stitches in just to secure. Odie coat, yes, well, you might as well buy some waterproof fabric, because Odie coat can be expensive, can't it? Now just be careful, or let me just get you on the old overhead. Just be careful when you snip these little ends that you're not snipping anywhere near this one, because that is your folded edge and you absolutely don't want to cut that, okay? So be careful. You can always come a millimetre away from it like that. That would be That would be good. I would say don't use your rotary cutter as well. Use your scissors so you've got it under control. Okay, so the next bit again is super easy because all of this now comes out. So this was the bit we just did, and this bit comes out now. So I'm going to pin it to hold it. You're going to press it. If you press it well, you won't need to do this bit of pinning, but I'm cheating. Okay, I'm cheating because of time. That's all. It's always time. So now let's just bring that over. Oh, now I've forgotten what I was going to do. Yeah, so that's the one, that's the top and bottom. That's what I'm doing next. What am I doing? So the next stage is to go back to your top and bottom pieces, and we're going to top stitch them. Now, if you're not happy with your top stitching, then for goodness sake, hand stitch this. And I have done that in the past. So if we look at the top and bottom, top, bottom, okay, flip it over. Oh, darn, darn, darn. Oh, I don't want to undo it. Right, just ignore it for time. So this is the top because it's got the pocket, yeah? So don't forget what we're doing. This is what we've just done. This side here, this side here. This is the top. This is the bottom. The top, because we know that's where the pocket is, okay? And all you're going to do is flip that over. We'll put some clips in. And then you're going to top stitch. If you're not confident with top stitching, for goodness sake, hand stitch it. If you're not confident and don't like hand stitching, glue it. Nobody's going to know except you. Oh, gosh, I've never had that happen before. Right, it's under immense pressure. So you're going to fold that all over. Now then, when you fold this over at this end, I want you to make sure that you line up the seam. So the top seam sits on top of your, this seam on this bit here lines up with your seams on here, and you're going to start stitching, there's my pen, you're going to start stitching from here, from this right at this end here. You're going to stitch that down so it doesn't flap up like that. You don't want it to flap up like that, you want it to be stuck down or stitched down. And then ignore the fact that I've got a little bit of a thingy there. I'll have to rectify that later. So at each side you're going to stitch right from that edge all the way along to that edge. And when we're top stitching, you're going to go just beyond the stitching that you've just done. So you want to keep an eye on this stitching that you've just done when you put the binding on, and you want to make sure that your binding just covers that, okay, just covers that, and then you'll find, fingers crossed, that your stitching will be in there. There's no guarantees, but that's the theory. So I'll do one side, and then I'll show you the one that I've finished, so I don't delay you anymore. I knew this would take a while, but as it's the last one for the time being, then I thought it was worth it. Now, I start about a quarter inch in, okay? So I'm starting, so there's, I don't know if I can show you, there's the edge of my fabric there. My needle is here, can you see? So I'm starting quarter inch in, and I'm going to go forward 1, and then I'm going to go back about 3. That way your fabric won't get caught in your feed dogs, because it will, or it could. So I'm just going to be really careful, and fingers crossed. I'm going right on the edge, don't have to, and you could use a zigzag if you wanted. And fingers crossed that will be stitching where I want it to stitch. If it doesn't, I'm not worried. Honestly, I'm not worried. Worse things happen than having your stitches not where they want to be. But you could use your quilter's tape again to secure this in the right place, or you could tack it, Who does tapping these days? And you can hear on the machine, actually, you can hear on the machine if you've caught all the binding rather than your patchwork, which is what I've done because I can hear it. So that's what happens when you're trying to be speedy. So when we come up to this end here, you're folding it over, you're lining up your seams, and you're going right to the end. Oh, it says I'm out of bobbin. Oh, that means we are coming to the end, but I'll just show you how to finish this off. So just stitch right to the end and then a couple of back stitches. Now, let me just hold this up so you can see. So you're going to do top and bottom, okay, top and bottom, and then when you come to do these sides, literally they just fold in like that. Okay, you want to cut your ends off, but they literally fold in like that, and you end up with the most perfect square corner. Look, let me just put a clip in there to hold that. There we go. So once you've finished, you just fold it over and you top stitch down the sides. So it's a really useful way of binding. And yeah, I went on to the binding there. Look, let me show you. You can see. So lovely on the binding. I could hear it. So I shall unpick that tomorrow and redo it because we must. We've got to be perfect. Well, not all the time, but you know, try our best. Now, where is mine? Of course, the handle, which I meant to say, when you let me take the pins out and show you how this works. So that, you know, the little carry handle that we did. Let me just take the pins out. So when you come to fold this up or roll it up, you're going to roll it up from the bottom or fold it. I think folding is fine, whatever you like. You're going to fold it till you come to the edge of the pockets, okay? A little bit more. A little bit more. Where is it? You're going to come to the edge of your pocket, yeah? And then you're going to flip your pocket over, okay? So we're going to get hold of this and we're going to flip it over. And because of the bulk of the binding, you won't get the perfect corners. So please don't expect to get the perfect corners. So you're going to flip it over so that pocket then ends up on the front, really. Hold on. That's it. So it just takes a minute. And like I say, if you do it with wadding, it's much more user-friendly. And that ends up what it looks like. Okay? Now, I don't know how John will feel carrying this. But if he's got a backpack, you know, that will slip inside your backpack. So when you've got your backpack on, that slips down the back like that. And then it catches against your back. Okay, so it's nice and secure. But if you wanted to put a handle on, if you look back and see how I did it, but you need to fold the pocket from the back to the front, and then that secures it. And I think that looks really nice. Really nice. I'm going to show it to him in a minute. Well, I've got to finish it tomorrow. But anyway, so that's what it looks like when it's all done. And if you do that binding, it's really super easy. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's have a quick look. Marion says, I've loved the Mims. Been so grateful for all the help and tips as only got my first machine a couple of years ago at my great age. Hey, listen, Marion, we're all of a great age. Got my pension now. Little Rishi sends me the money every month. Bless him. Nicola says, brilliant. I can sit on it without opening it too. Well, actually, yes, you could. You know, if you're at one of those bus shelters that have those silly little narrow, put one of them on, and then when you're on the bus, wink wink, you open it up, you sit on your own cushion. Yes, vital. Sue says, thank you for all the lovely mini projects, or the MIM projects. Well, I suppose they are mini, aren't they? Melba says, thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, Melba. Karita says, thank you. You're welcome. Denise says, thank you, Lizzie and Kath. Yes, for all your hard work. Pat says, thank you, Lizzie, really enjoyed all the mims. Yeah, me too. Me too. Violet says, so clever. Thank you, Lizzie, for tonight and all the previous mims. It's been even wonderful. Now for something new. Can't wait. Oh, yeah. Don't think I'm going to sit in my rocking chair and rock myself to sleep. That is almost impossible. Anne says, love it. Making it Monday got me sewing after 20 years. Looking forward to the next chapter. Oh, how lovely. Pat says, brilliant. Love this one. What a great finale for mims. Yay. Sarah says, brilliant. Elaine says, thank you for all the mims. Love them. Sarah, I sent your templates out today. Julie says, I've enjoyed the mims. Thank you. And Kathleen says, thank you, Lizzie. I've loved the mims and learnt so much. Well, to be honest, thank you very much for Kath. To Kath for keeping me absolutely sane by helping me write the patterns and getting them in a half decent shape for you. Takes great skill. Without Kath, I don't think I could have continued for that extra few months or so, year perhaps, because it does take huge amounts of time for a small project. It does take a long time because we try to be unique. We try to be unique. There are techniques, obviously, that we use, other people do. That's pretty obvious. You can't invent the wheel. However, our patterns, I hope, are unique. And certainly, if they're not, it's not intentional. It's not my fault. Dawn says, Mondays will never be the same. I'll have to keep hubby company. Dawn, you're a platinum member. I shall be in the platinum group on a Monday, probably every other Monday. So come on, we've got our projects to do. We've got to think about your electricity pylon. They have no idea what we're making. Eileen says, thank you, Lizzie, for a fantastic night. Special thanks for all the mims and all you and Kath do. 100%. And don't forget also, we have our Jackie Thomas, who helps us out on social media. We've got our Jackie Grant, who helps me out on the website. We've got our Gemma Joy, who actually makes up all of the Children in Need patterns, which there'll be a new one on Saturday. We have our Nicola, who continues to inspire me with her fantastic creations and sewing carry-ons, and then we have Karen, who always keeps us amused with her doggy tales. So between us all, we do a cracking job. I love them all very much indeed. Linda said, your patterns have kept me, sane, maybe. Yes, so thank you ever so much for all the wonderful comments. I really appreciate it. Sorry I've gone way over my time, but as there's still, with YouTube, still 200 people watching, I figure you're okay with my shenanigans. So the fabric you see there, you know that's for the round Bargello with the new pie cut templates. Well, that's what we're going to be doing in the members group, the online sewing group, and I will not be doing it anywhere else, especially for my online members, because I try to do as much as I can with them. The other thing, which I'm not going to tell you the full details of, is if you join the group, and don't forget the free 14-day free trial starts Saturday, if you do join, we're doing something quite special for July. First of all, it's Christmas, and I am not going to be dressing my set too much in Christmas stuff. It was just a little bit too much last year. It was like Santa's grotto. It's hard to work in Santa's grotto. But we're doing something special, and we do lots and lots of stuff in the group. We have our members group, our Lizzie's Fabulous Sewing group, on a Thursday night every week, and we do always do special projects. And we also have the Platinum group as well, which is like that add-on. We do more things in that because it costs just that little bit more, couple of quid a month actually. If you pay annually, it's £1.25 a month. I mean, hardly a lot, but it's extra stuff in that group. So I will still be doing extra things in the members group anyway, but we're doing something quite special over a 2-3 week period, which is really super. So if you do join and take advantage of the 14-day free trial, you will get to be part of that. Right, there we go. Kath says, it's been such a pleasure being involved in creating Making It Mondays. I'm so excited about all that's going to come. Have you got your seat belt fastened, Kath? So I'm not sure I've told you everything we're going to be doing. The trouble is, I wake up in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I have these fantastic creative ideas and I have to stop myself. That's when I'm at my best. And to be honest, I can't even get out of bed and walk in a straight line. I'm like a zombie, but my brain is like on fire. It's terrible, terrible. I need the rest. Jackie says, free trial. Either you've made a mistake or you're going crackers. Jackie, do not answer that. Seatbelt on, bring on the early morning ideas. Oh, I know, stop it, Kath. I must stop it. I must stop it. Of course I'm not going to stop it. Right, I've got to go. I've got to leave you in peace. Thank you so, so much for joining me every Monday for the last 2.5 years. We've got 127, if I've counted correctly. We've got 127 Making It Monday projects in the files. Spend 5 minutes having a browse. For the price that they are, they're incredible little patterns, and they've all got videos. I mean, gosh, who else offers you such quality and such a great deal? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know. I can't even say who. There isn't anybody. We must be mad. So I will see you on Thursday for my members. For my members, I will see you Thursday, and it's the reveal of the July patterns, which are stunning, and we will do a special little project. Can't wait. I'm pretty sure I've got something else to show you, but it's gone out of my mind. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I can see you're all dropping off now, so I better. It's like, bored now, Lizzie, you can go. So I will see you soon. See you on Thursday to my members. To everybody else, don't forget, I shall be putting a date in on my page of when we're going to make Beatrice. Might be a Sunday afternoon. I'll have to see. And also, don't forget, if you want to have a sew along for four consecutive nights, go and sign up for Blue Beauty. It is a beauty. Honestly, it's going to look amazing, and I'm going to do a sample quilt this week, so I can't wait to make that, show it to you. Right, bye Dawn, and I'll see you all again